Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches: Colorado Rockies vs Arizona Diamondbacks, Oakland Athletics vs Baltimore Orioles, San Diego Padres vs San Francisco Giants, and Seattle Mariners vs Los Angeles Angels, which are happening on Friday, April 30th, 2021, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. So I am going to start off by talking about the Colorado Rockies vs Arizona Diamondbacks match. These teams are scheduled to play the series opener on Thursday night after the time of publishing. Colorado enters the series at last place in the NL West at 9-15, while Arizona has played well of late to get back to .500 at 12-12. The Rockies won the first series between these two this season, taking 2 of 3 at Coors Field in early April. Each team won 5 games apiece to split the season series last year. Arizona is the favorite at -117. The odds for Colorado are set at +108. Colorado has won the last 2 meetings between these teams, including a 7-3 victory back on April 8th. The Rockies are 6-4 in the last 10 meetings. There have been some bright spots for the Rockies this season, but a 1-8 record away from Coors Field has hurt, and they lost 2 of 3 to the San Francisco Giants to begin this week. Colorado allowed 24 runs across the 3 games in San Francisco, as things got away from ace German Marquez in the second inning of Wednesday's series finale, with the Giants playing 4 runs to take command and eventually win 7-3. Another road series begins on Thursday in Arizona, with Antonio Senzatella taking the mound. The Rockies have fared better against the spread at 12-12, but have still not won enough to be profitable on the money line despite being a big underdog in most games. Overs are 10-3-1 for the Rockies, although each of their last 5 games have gone over the betting total. No team in baseball has a better record than Arizona's 7-3 over the last 10 games, and they have either won or split 4 straight series. Arizona couldn't manage the 2-game sweep of San Diego earlier this week, as the Padres batted around for 6 runs in the 5th inning of Wednesday's series finale in what turned out to be a 12-3 blowout loss. The Diamondbacks will look to get back above .500 with a win over Colorado on Thursday, with Luke Weaver taking the hill for the series opener. First off, he is performing far better than Bumgarner this season and has been a true ace for the Rockies. He is the kind of pitcher who can take over a game, and the Colorado bullpen is solid enough to maintain the lead. I get that Arizona has been the better hitting team this season, and they have put up huge home run numbers, but Gray is going to have success against them. My first betting advice for that game is to pick the Colorado Rockies. San Francisco only scored in 2 innings, but made the most of them, scoring 4 in the 2nd and 3 in the 7th on their way to a 7-3 victory. German Marquez gave up 4 runs in 4 innings in suffering his 2nd loss of the season. The Rockies recorded 7 hits in the game, with no player recording more than 1. A 6-run 5th inning proved to be the big blow as the Padres beat Arizona 12-3. Riley Smith allowed 3 runs in 4 innings, but the bullpen took it on the chin, allowing 8 earned runs over the final 5 innings. Nick Ahmed drove in a pair of runs for Arizona. Arizona is 2nd in runs per game at 5.17 and is 28th in runs allowed per contest at 5.04. They are 16th in team batting average of .231. The team is 3rd in home runs per game at 1.42. The Diamondbacks will have left-hander Madison Bumgarner going. It has been a tough season for the lefty, as he is 2-2 with a 6.31 ERA in 5 starts. In 25.2 innings, Bumgarner has allowed 24 hits and 18 runs while striking out 27. Opponents are hitting .247 against him. The Rockies have scored 13 runs in their last 3 games and 4 or more runs in 6 of their last 9 games. The Rockies have won 6 of their last 7 games when scoring 4 or more runs. Ryan McMahon leads the Rockies with 25 hits and 15 RBI, while Trevor Story and Raimel Tapia have combined for 46 hits and 23 RBI. John Gray gets the ball, and he is 3-1 with a 2.54 ERA and 27 strikeouts this season. Gray is 5-5 with a 4.97 ERA and 62 strikeouts in his career against the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks have scored 13 runs in their last 3 games and 4 or more runs in 12 of their last 15 games. The Diamondbacks have won 9 of their last 10 games when scoring 4 or more runs. David Peralta leads the Diamondbacks with 23 hits and 19 RBI, while Eduardo Escobar and Pavin Smith have combined for 40 hits and 21 RBI. Madison Bumgarner gets the ball, and he is 2-2 with a 6.31 ERA and 27 strikeouts this season. Bumgarner is 17-9 with a 3.32 ERA and 218 strikeouts in his career against the Rockies. The Rockies are 16-37 in their last 53 games as an underdog and 1-5 in their last 6 Friday games. The Diamondbacks are 5-2 in their last 7 games as a favorite and 7-2 in their last 9 overall. The over is 5-0 in Rockies' last 5 overall. The over is 6-2 in Diamondbacks' last 8 overall. The over is 4-1 in the last 5 meetings in Arizona. My second betting advice for that game is to pick under. Now I'm going to be talking about the Baltimore Orioles versus Oakland Athletics match. The Orioles are coming off a 4-game series with the Yankees that they split, while Oakland took 2 of 3 from Tampa Bay in their most recent series. Baltimore will give the ball to left-hander John Means to start, while Oakland has right-handed Mike Fiers to make his season debut on the mound. The Athletics managed to salvage a split in their series against the Tampa Bay Rays with a 3-2 win on Thursday evening. The Orioles did the same, rebounding from back-to-back losses with a 4-3 win over the New York Yankees. Despite the win, Baltimore remains in 4th place in the AL East standings with an 11-14 overall record in 25 games. Meanwhile, Oakland has built a 2-game lead in the AL West after sprinting out to a 16-10 mark. It was a back-and-forth battle between division rivals on Thursday afternoon as Baltimore got on board first with a run in the bottom of the first before New York went ahead 2-1 with a 2-run 5th inning. The Orioles responded by scoring a run in the bottom of the 6th and went ahead 3-2 with another run scored in the bottom of the 8th. New York wouldn't go that easily, however, as they tagged closer Cesar Valdez for the tying run in the top of the 9th. The Orioles would score the winning run in the bottom of the 9th on a sacrifice fly by Cedric Mullins, earning them the victory and a series split. As good as Means has performed to start the year, there are some signs that he could be due for some regression soon. In 2 career starts against Oakland, Means is 1-1 with a 1.93 ERA. According to Baseball Savant, current A's hitters own a slim .152 batting average in 37 plate appearances off of Means heading into Friday's matchup. It's been 4 games since their 13-game winning streak was snapped by this same Baltimore team. So far, they've won 2 and lost 2 since, with their most recent game being a win over the Rays, 3-2. The A's are sitting at 16-10 on the season overall and in first place in the AL West, where they're 2 games ahead of the Mariners. While Oakland isn't dominant in either pitching or hitting this season, they're very well balanced. At 1.27 home runs per contest, the A's are ranked 13th overall and they're 15th overall in scoring at 4.30 runs a game. Oakland ranks in the top 10 in the majors in runs scored, home runs, and OPS this season. Means comes into Friday's start due for some regression after a strong start to the year. He's stranding a ridiculous amount of his base runners right now, so look for that number to start to come down in this game. Take Oakland to come out on top at home in the first game of its series against Baltimore on Friday night. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Oakland Athletic. Unfortunately, Oakland might be without one of their best players in Game 1 as Matt Olson suffered an eye injury during batting practice Thursday. He's listed as questionable for Friday night's game, which would be a big loss as he leads the team in batting average, home runs, and hits. Jed Lowry has been productive so far this season as his 17 RBI is tied with Olsen for most on the team. Mark Kanya leads the team with a .393 OBP and is second with 23 hits. Friday's game will be the first start of the season for Fears, who was 6-3 with a 4.38 ERA for the 2020 season. One thing the A's have going for them is they've won 8 of their last 10 against Baltimore. The Baltimore Orioles need a win after losing 5 of their last 8 games. The Orioles have scored 5 runs in their last 3 games and 4 or more runs in 6 of their last 12 games. The Orioles have won 7 straight games when scoring 4 or more runs. Cedric Mullins leads the Orioles with 33 hits and 7 RBI, while Trey Mancini and Michael Franco have combined for 46 hits and 34 RBI. John Means gets the ball, and he is 2-0 with a 1.50 ERA and 29 strikeouts this season. Means is 1-1 with a 1.93 ERA and 7 strikeouts in his career against the Athletics. The Orioles are 69-149 in their last 218 road games, and 140-291 in their last 431 overall. The Athletics are 58-28 in their last 86 home games and 14-3 in their last 17 overall. The under is 10-1 in Orioles' last 13 overall. The under is 4-1 in Athletics' last 6 overall. The Orioles are 20-49 in the last 69 meetings in Oakland and 3-13 in the last 16 meetings. The Athletics have scored 6 runs in their last 3 games and 3 or less runs in 5 straight games. The Athletics have won 6 of their last 9 games when scoring 3 or less runs. Matt Olson leads the Athletics with 24 hits and 17 RBI, while Mark Kanya and Jed Lowry have combined for 45 hits and 24 RBI. Mike Fears gets the ball, and he was 6-3 with a 4.58 ERA and 37 strikeouts last season. Fears is 4-1 with a 1.93 ERA and 32 strikeouts in his career against the Orioles. My second betting advice for that game is to pick over 8. Now I'm going to be talking about the San Diego Padres versus San Francisco Giants match. In Game 1 of their 3-game series from Petco Park, the Giants continue to be a team in the NL West that nobody seems to be talking about, sitting tied with the Dodgers atop the division, and additionally with the Red Sox atop the best record in baseball. The Padres are starting to build some momentum of their own now that Fernando Tatis Jr. has returned to the fray, but still sit 2.5 games back at the Giants in the divisional standings. Both teams are coming off of wins their last time out, while the Giants are 7-3 in their last 10 games and the Padres are 5-5 in their last 10. This series, even though still early in the season, could go a long way towards shifting the race and trajectory of the standings, at least over the short term. Most expected the NL West to be a 2-team race between the powerhouse Padres and Dodgers, but San Francisco is crashing that party by winning 6 of its last 7 series. The Giants were able to get to Colorado ace German Marquez in the second inning on Wednesday with 4 runs on RBI walks from Kurt Casale and Tommy La Stella plus a 2-run single by Brandon Belt before adding on 3 runs in the 7th inning to pull away. Alex Wood continued to dominate on the mound for the Giants with 6 innings of 2-run ball, allowing 4 hits and 2 walks while striking out 9. In his first game with San Francisco after being acquired from the New York Yankees, Mike Tauchman went 3-4 with an RBI and a run scored. San Diego's pitching staff has been the best in the majors so far despite dealing with several injuries, but shaky offense has led to the Padres barely floating above .500. That wasn't the case on Wednesday against Arizona, as San Diego batted around for 6 runs in the 5th, highlighted by a bases-clearing triple from Manny Machado, with Jake Cronenworth and Jorge Mateo each adding homers later in a 12-run outburst. The Padres played 1 less game this week than the Giants, and that rest for the starters and bullpen will give them a big advantage on Friday night. Beyond that, Tatis Jr. is one of the most locked-in players in baseball, and the Padres finally seem to have a healthy lineup that can gain some consistency, while the Giants continue to deal with some injuries, especially to Yastrzemski, who won't be available for Friday. The pitching matchup will end up being the most glaring difference in this one, as Webb can't stack up with Darvish, who can easily pitch a shutout in this one. For the Giants to have a chance, they'll need to score at least 5 runs probably, which is asking a lot of any offense against Darvish. The Padres will get the weekend series started with a win and look to continue to gain ground on the Giants in the standings. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Padres. The Giants have to be the biggest surprise of the year so far to see them tied atop the division after a month of games. They have one of the more balanced lineups in baseball, with 3 different players leading in the 3 major offensive categories. Buster Posey isn't only hitting .351, but also has 5 home runs on the year, but doesn't have enough at-bats to qualify for the batting average race yet. Evan Longoria is in the same boat, hitting .311, but leads in RBI with 12. Because only Austin Slate and Mike Yastrzemski qualify in batting average, Slate technically leads even though he's only hitting .227. Yastrzemski has started the season slow and won't be available anyway due to his current stint on the DL. One player to keep an eye on in this series is shortstop Donovan Solano, who is hitting .316 as he works his way back into the lineup. Add in the veteran presence of Brandon Belt, .219, and Brandon Crawford, .200, and this lineup can turn the corner quickly and continue to find ways to battle for wins. After a series win against the Dodgers last weekend that had many across the country thinking the Padres had turned a corner towards being the dominant team that many expected, they found themselves with a split against the Diamondbacks. The offense has been led by the big bats of Tatis Jr. and Eric Hosmer, who have teamed up to be one of the most dangerous duos in the league. Tatis Jr. leads the team with 7 home runs and has slowly but surely raised his average to .262 of late. Hosmer might only have 3 home runs of his own on the year, but has still managed to produce a team-leading 16 RBI, and is hitting a team-high .299 on the year. Beyond those 2, they still have power behind Myers and Trent Grisham, who both have 4 home runs and don't have any regulars struggling to find their hitting form still on the year. One added benefit heading into this one is that the Padres only played 2 games in the midweek this week, so will have a little more rest under their belt heading into the weekend. San Francisco is 6-1 in their last 7 division games and 4-1 in their last 5 games against a team with a winning record, while the over is 5-1 in their last 6 games following a win. San Diego is 5-2 in their last 7 division games and 2-5 in their last 7 games as a favorite, while the under is 11-1 in their last 12 home games. San Francisco is 4-11 in the last 15 meetings between these 2 teams and 2-5 in the last 7 meetings between these 2 teams in San Diego. My second betting advice for that game is to pick under 7.5. Now I'm going to be talking about the Los Angeles Angels versus Seattle Mariners match. The Angels have won 3 of 4 games, and with their last win they moved above .500 on the season. The team has the lineup and has showed it, but what about the pitching? The staff ranks 30th in MLB in team ERA, but in the 3 wins in their last 4 games have only given up 9 runs. The Mariners had lost 4 in a row before a win in their last game. They are in second place in the AL West, 2 games back of the Oakland A's and a half a game up on the Halos. Seattle ranks in the middle of the pack in terms of runs scored in team ERA, but their lineup has struggled in the last few games. In the Angles' last game they were on the road and beat the Texas Rangers 4-1, where they started hot, scoring 4 runs in the first inning. Anthony Rendon and Jose Iglesias each had 2 RBI in the win, and Mike Trout saw his season average fall .420 after going 1 for 4. He ranks second in the majors in batting average, and he has 7 hits with a couple of RBI in his last 3 games. Shohei Ohtani leads the Halos in HR 7 and RBI 18, and over his last 5 games he has gone yard twice and has 4 HR. This season LA is 6-7 on the road. Seattle carried a 4-game losing streak into Thursday afternoon's series finale against Houston. The Mariners had not scored more than 5 runs in any of those 4 games. They did not put together a big day at the plate on Thursday, but their pitching staff came up clutch in a 1-0 shutout win over the Astros. Their lone run came on a solo home run in the third inning. Starting pitcher Yusei Kikuchi tossed 7 scoreless frames. Seattle ranks number 27 in the MLB with a team batting average of .210. Third baseman Ty France leads the team with 27 hits and 10 walks, hitting at a .303 clip. However, they'll be heading into a weekend series against a Mariners team that isn't finding any luck on offense. If guys aren't whiffing at pitches, they're constantly knocking around routine outs to the defense. That's a problem when facing an Angels team with the offensive firepower to bury opponents. There's always a threat of an offensive explosion. Unfortunately for the Mariners, the same can't be said about their struggling offensive lineup. The Angels starters haven't played well, but I do believe Andrew Heaney deserves a little more credit than that. Since his season-opening meltdown against the Chicago White Sox, he has been completely locked in as a starter. He hasn't given up more than 2 runs in his last 3 starts. That feat will remain intact on Friday as well. My first betting advice for that game: Los Angeles Angels. Mike Trout is off to a ridiculous start to the year with a .420 batting average, 16 hits and a .524 OBP with a team-high 7 doubles along with 6 home runs and 14 RBIs. Justin Upton and Albert Pujols each have 5 homers and 12 RBIs, and Jared Walsh has got 4 homers with 16 RBIs, but it's Shohei Ohtani who leads the Angels with 7 home runs, 18 RBIs and a pair of triples. Andrew Heaney is expected to get the start here for the Angels and is 1-1 with a 4.35 ERA and 29 strikeouts this season. In his career, Heaney is 3-4 with a 3.69 ERA and 74 strikeouts against Seattle. Ty France leads the Mariners with a .301 batting average, a .394 OBP and 28 hits, while Kyle Seager has a team-high 20 RBIs and 9 doubles with 4 home runs, and Mitch Haniger has a team-high 5 home runs with 17 RBIs as well as 7 doubles on the year. Chris Flexen is expected to get the start here and is 2-1 with a 2.74 ERA and 21 strikeouts this season. This will be Flexen's first career start against the Angels. Los Angeles is 6-2 in their last 8 series opening games and 1-5 in their last 6 games following a win, while the over is 4-0 in their last 4 games following an off day. Seattle is 4-1 in their lot 5 series opening games and 24-50 in their last 74 games against a left-handed starter, while the under is 3-1 in their last 4 games as a home underdog. The Angels are 4-1 in the last 5 meetings between these two teams in Seattle. The season-long numbers have provided some value on the total in this game. Los Angeles is the most polarizing team in the MLB, ranking second in batting average and last in pitching. However, the Angels are sending their best pitcher to the mound on Friday night. Heaney has been a shutdown starter over his last 3 starts and will be facing a Seattle lineup that is struggling to generate many runs. Flexen is coming off the best start of his career, which should give him confidence coming into this game. My second betting advice for that game is under 8.5. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.